everyone, Alexa here from the blog, theduvallhomestead.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make homemade meatballs. What to make for dinner tonight, and I had some ground lamb already in the fridge. Usually I'll make meatballs with beef because we will serve it in a pasta or even a chili, but today I had lamb and that will go really well with pasta too. So we're gonna do a lamb meatball pasta, so I'm gonna take you along as I make the meatballs. I will have the full recipe for these meatballs on the blog at theduvallhomestead.com with a printable recipe card. Also, make sure while you're there you sign up for the Duvall Homestead newsletter. I love to send out an email every now and then with just whatever new recipes I'm writing about on the blog and some of our farmhouse seasonal decor and everything, so sign up for that while you're there too. So let's make some meatballs. Okay, so to get started, you're going to start by putting about a pound of your ground beef, or in my case ground lamb, in a large bowl. You're going to shred a half a cup of Parmesan or cheddar cheese. Crack 1 egg, farm fresh if you have it. Add 1 teaspoon of Italian herbs. This is a mixture I made of rosemary, parsley, and oregano. Actually going to add 2 teaspoons. 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. This is really nice. I love Worcestershire sauce because it's just got such a great flavor and you don't need very much of it. By the way, I don't usually measure these ingredients, so if you like more of one thing or another, then I would just do that. 1 drop of, I'm going to do oregano essential oil. This is optional. It just adds a nice flavor and also has health benefits, immune boosting health benefits of the oregano. About a half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of pepper. Next you want to add a teaspoon of garlic powder, and I'm actually out of garlic powder. And so what I'm going to do is just fill up I buy a lot of my dry food in bulk. This is garlic powder, and so this is what I'm going to put in this little jar here. And I keep the spices in this little jar just because it's easier in my kitchen. And then I have this funnel, and I just can really easily pour in there. I have a whole video about these little jars and about how I organize my spices in another blog post, and I'll link that below. A teaspoon of garlic powder. Next you're going to cut up 1 to 2 slices of sourdough bread, depending on how big your bread slices are. This is just the very last bit of our loaf that I made, so I'm going to do 2. And then you want to cut the crust off, and you're basically going to just process this in a food processor to make breadcrumbs. You could probably use store-bought breadcrumbs as well. I've never done it, so I always seem to have some bread left over. But you want to take the crust off because it'll just be too thick. And break it up and then put it in your food processor. Then you want to add your breadcrumbs to the bowl. Next, you're just going to take that whole mixture and mix it up with your hands, making sure to get the egg fully incorporated. And by the way, this recipe is pretty similar to how you would make homemade hamburgers. So if you ever want to try hamburger patties, I have a link to that recipe on my blog too. You can go check that out. It's really good to know how to make hamburger patties and meatballs, because how often do you want hamburger or pasta with meatballs and you just don't have, you know, store-bought patties? So this is our go-to. We don't even buy store-bought anymore. In fact, yesterday we had a salmon burger with store-bought salmon patties because I thought they looked really good and they ended up being not nearly as good as ours. So, and then you want to just make sure everything's fully incorporated. Now, if it's too runny to form a meatball, if you aren't able to form a meatball easily, then you can add more breadcrumbs or another egg. So you want it to be just right. Okay, so now you're just going to put your meatballs on a baking tray that has aluminum foil on top. You can make the meatballs as big or as small as you need, depending on who's eating them. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the oven at 425 degrees for 12 minutes. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for making homemade meatballs with me. I hope you enjoy this recipe, and I'm really looking forward to eating this for dinner tonight. Don't forget to check out the DuvallHomestead.com, where there will be a free printable recipe card for this recipe. If you are brand new to my page, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Every week I post new farm-to-table recipes and homemade natural living from our homestead here in Duvall. Thank you so much for stopping by the Duvall Homestead.